This is our ride down at Mulberry Mountain area in Arkansas. Me and my buddy Mike were staying at the Mulberry Event Center area. We've rented a little house there. And we decided we were going to ride up to Combs. There's a general store, a little cafe there. We never been there, so we thought we're just going to head that way. And we drove up north on 23 little ways, jumped on West Fight Gap, and then started taking some trails. We weren't just trying to go directly there, just headed that way. Well, we came across this trail, and it started out okay, and the farther we went, the less it became a trail, and finally it just kind of petered out to nothing. But it looked pretty good. I mean, we were trying to ride stuff we hadn't rode before. You can see, I mean, it's been rode to here, but it's like people start on it, and then they go away, turn around, go back. Then it just kind of turns into nothing. But it was really...
Yeah, this was the right trail thing. I don't think it's been rode for a while.
It was really, the farther we went, the more overgrown it was.
We're gonna have to turn around.
And then Mike finally, he's in front of me, and he ran into a stump.
Well, whatever you think, I got to be careful not to get hooked on some of these vines that are hanging down. Turn around. Okay.
So we turned around and went back, but you know, it looked like
Are you okay to go?
It looked like a established trail.
Go ahead and start headed back up.
But it just, the farther you went, the less of a trail it became, until it just kind of went to nothing. So I went ahead and turned around. Well, he still had to turn around, so I was headed on back before he was. And up a ways, I ran into a bear that was in the trail ahead of me running away. I had the cameras on. You could see it really plain in real life, but on the camera it hardly even shows up. I put it on there, but you know, he was only on camera on screen for about 3 seconds, because he took off running away from me on the trail and he was gone. But that's the second black bear we've come across. It makes us wonder how many bears we've went by and never even seen them. There he is up ahead there. You couldn't even really see him in the camera.
Bear! Got a bear in front of me.
So there's a still picture of him, and I got it circled. It's just a black dot.
I don't know where he went, but he was running in front of me in the trail. Was it a deer? Bear. Awesome. And I actually had the camera on, so maybe I got him. Awesome.
But they just don't show up very good on the camera. Mike had run up on a deer one other time.
I don't know where he went. He was running
up on a bear.
And he got out of sight. I don't know.
One other time when we were out there, and he had it on camera too, but you just couldn't hardly see it on the camera.
Well, let's just say we did.
That's the only good thing that came from riding down the trails. We've come across the bear, but there apparently must be a lot of bear out there, because that's the second one we've come across.
I just seen his ass because he was running away.
So we took this trail back to where we had got on it and then went on.
The strange thing is, we just came by here. You thought we would have spooked him away. Right.
about, I mean, you can see when we first got on this trail, it's well established. But anyways, we take it back to the main road, service road, and we're headed on back. We're like I said, we're gonna go eat lunch at that Combs cafe / general store, and we're just kind of headed that way. We know where we need to get to take the gravel road to it, but we want to go trails as much as possible. So we weren't in any hurry to just directly go there. This is the first time that we've been down here in the summer. We've always been in the early spring or into the fall, and it was pretty dry. This was the driest it's ever been that we've been down there anyway. And dust was a problem, especially when you're out on any kind of gravel roads and stuff. When you're back into the trails, it's not near as bad. That's a good thing about having the radios. We can space out more and still know if the other guy turns a different direction, we can let him know. Another falls we've been to that's always been going good. It didn't even.
This should take us right down to the Twin Falls.
It didn't even look right. The water was so low.
Never seen it look like this before.
Yeah, this is kind of bad, isn't it?
If you went back and looked at some of my other videos on the falls, you can see how good that falls has been flowing in the path. So we're driving around this area, and shoot, we circled around and came back. Now here's this is Camp Carp here. We drove up there and stopped again. Showed that in another video too. We took off right again, then we ended up at that falls again. The falls, as far as I know, doesn't really have a name. We just call it the Twin Falls because it splits and kind of has two separate falls there.
Hey, this is the Twin Falls right here.
But we had circled around and came back to it from the other direction.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Back at Camp Carp again. We came back through there going the opposite direction.
Back in the low gear.
And we had come to a hill that didn't look like anybody had gone up for a long time. So we decided to take this trail. And it looked pretty rough at the bottom, so Mike's going to hang back a little bit in case it gets too bad. We don't both end up hung up in. And there was a spot that was a little rough, but it wasn't so bad going up. I had a little more trouble when we had to turn around and come back. Eventually we ran into trees across the trail. But just the angle of everything right here, when I'm coming down, I got a little really tipsy. But going up, it wasn't too bad. But when we was coming back, I wasn't liking it too much.
There's a rough spot, but I think you'd be all right.
Roger that.
So we went up all this and then come across a tree, and there wasn't any way around that tree across the trail because it's a hill on the right and a drop off on the left, and we got out and looked, and it just was no good way to get around. So it makes you see sometimes people carrying chainsaws. Well, that'd have been a perfect time to have a chainsaw. All we have is a little handsaw for emergency if we had to. But this here, you couldn't go to the left because it dropped off, and to the right was a hill. We got out and looked around, but it just wasn't passable. So we would have liked to kept going on this trail. We had never rode this trail.
This is a big tree down here, and I don't see any way around it. Maybe there is. Let me look.
So we turned around.
Well, we got to go back down, so we'll get down the bottom and regroup.
On the ride we had, there was like
That sounds like a plan.
3 places.
This was not a bypass around that hill,
that we had to turn around because trees were down and you couldn't
Looks
get
like we're
around.
gonna have to go up the hill then.
And the hill we didn't want to go up, or we thought didn't look too good. We ended up going up it. It was a dead end too. This is the spot coming down, and the angle of it was trying to throw me into that tree. I didn't want to scrape my buggy up. So we go back down, we get down, and we go to this hill that it didn't look like people had been riding it much. And none of this was too bad. Then we get up there and it's a dead end, and we had to circle back around and come back down. Right up to here, and that's nothing. So then we turn around and go back down. It's getting about lunchtime, or a little bit past lunchtime now, so we decided after we went over all this that we would make a better effort of going where we needed to get on the forest road that would take us up to Combs.
What are you thinking?
Well, the blue loop for sure will go the right way. It just takes a long time to go around. Going straight might be straight to the road we want to go to. There's nothing showing up on here, so do you want to try to go straight?
Let's try it.
On my right command on the GPS, it did not show this road we're on it, so we could have went on the blue loop and it would be a big loop around to get us to where we wanted. This went straight through, and then here's the road we wanted, and got on here.
Well, this is the right one.
It takes you right down to the road, and you come out just south of
pavement now.
Combs, just barely south of the destination to aim to go to. We didn't try to go direct.